Russell Wilson signs a 1-year, $21 million deal with the New York Giants, $10.5 million guaranteed. More of it's going to come through. Obviously, reactions are coming through. But Russell Wilson is now a New York Giant. Now he joins Jameis Winston, who signed a $2.8 million deal. This is who I was working with last time. And then Tommy DeVito, who also signed a deal with them. And so right now, let's talk about the Giants situation. They have the third overall pick in this upcoming draft. Jameis Winston just signed a 2-year deal. Now Russell Wilson's there for $21 million with $10.5 million guaranteed. Now, Chase Daniel was on Diana Rossini's podcast, and they were talking about this situation, and Chase Daniel believes that the Giants need to win 8 to 9 games and draft a rookie quarterback. So my guess would be, if the Giants do draft a quarterback, then Tommy Cutlets would be released. I think he's on a 1-year deal. My guess would be that he'll sort of be the sacrificial lamb in this situation. But I do think when it's all said and done, I do believe that there's a shot if the Giants do what maybe I'm expecting them to do, and Russ is the starter, and who knows what that means for this upcoming draft. But I'm going to throw this out here because I did see this report earlier. Here's what I'm going to say about the New York Giants in this situation. I think with the signing of Russell Wilson, this means one thing, really. I think the Giants are going to take Travis Hunter at the number 3 spot. I think right now, the way that they're looking at it, they reinforced their defense. They already have a good defensive line. They just upgraded their cornerback group and their defensive back group. Their offensive line is okay, but it could improve, obviously. They have no running game, and right now you could argue that they have a quarterback. I don't particularly think Russell Wilson is a dynamic player anymore. I don't think he's even that good anymore. I think he's average to below average at this current moment. And I think right now, for the past 4 years, it's been a nice but brutal slide for Russell Wilson. But I think right now, if you take a look at this draft, it's Shedeur Sanders who seems to be slipping. And supposedly, the Giants could be one of the teams that weren't overly impressed with Shedeur Sanders. They're not going to get Cam Ward. I don't think they right now need Abdul Carter. And currently on offense, they only have one real weapon, and that's Malik Neighbors. They have no real tight end. We could all love Bellinger, but he's not a true threat at the tight end position. And I think that if Dable wants to keep his job, I somewhat agree with Chase Daniel. They need to win a decent amount of games. You want to hover around 500. You don't want to start off 1-6. Because I think by that time, I think Mara's going to, call it quits and pull the plug on Shane and on Dable. So I think the way the Giants should go about this is, we'll wait till 2026 to get a quarterback. Because right now, you have an opportunity, if Russ performs poorly, that you could already get a high draft pick and potentially get Arch Manning or any quarterback coming out of the draft. Or if you want to go that route, the number 3 pick could be Travis Hunter, and you can get maybe a tier 2 quarterback like Jaxson Dart maybe, and move on with that. So I think right now, the Giants in the number 3 spot, I'm going to predict this right now, and I'm pretty sure some people are going to be mad at me about this. I think with the number 3 overall pick, the Giants are going to go Travis Hunter, pair him up with Malik Neighbors, Russell Wilson's your quarterback, a decent offensive line. It's not great. And if Andrew Thomas stays healthy, it was a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. Travis Hunter, Malik Neighbors, Russell Wilson, that's not bad. And I think that you could at least argue that saves Brian Dable's job for at least half the season. But if we're talking about these big-time moves and these, game-changing moves, I don't know if this is a true job saver. I think it's just putting it on hold for a couple of weeks while Russ figures something out and makes it look half decent. But I don't think that the Giants are going to go anywhere regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what's going to happen, and I think it could be a disaster if Shedeur Sanders is available at number 3. Cam Ward's going number 1. If Shedeur Sanders is there at number 3 and they don't take him, and he winds up being the rookie of the year with one of the other teams down the line that will pick him, then that will make the Giants look just like they looked when they didn't sign Saquon Barkley, and he went off and had the most rushing yards in history of the NFL over the total season, including the playoffs. So they're in position to really put their foot in their mouths and step in it badly, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They picked Russell. I think they get tired of the dink and dunk with Danny Dimes. That didn't work out so well, right? So now they've gone out and got quarterbacks who sling it. Okay, you got Jameis Winston. He can come in now, and I said this. This is my note. Winston can play the role of a sort of supercharged clubhouse guy, leaving the option to bring in Russell Wilson with Winston as the backup. That's what's going to happen here. Both guys can sling it. And with that setup at quarterback, they can justify passing on Sanders and drafting Travis Hunter instead. That's what I said. I wouldn't do it, but the Giants might. Wilson did with the long ball in 2024. He was fourth among all QBs in explosive pass percentage and the top EPA per throw on passes of 20 yards or more. Hunter and Neighbors might be the right fit for a pass-happy offense with either Winston or Wilson at quarterback, throwing the deep ball more. I think Winston provides more an opportunity to break out of the dink and dunk, and so does Russell Wilson now. Daniel Jones era. He has no problem airing it out, but needs to cut down on the turnovers. He's not going to get the play unless Russell Wilson is bombs out and they put him in, or he gets hurt. I don't think that this move fixes the Giants' quarterback situation overall or for the long term. I mean, Russell Wilson's on a 1-year deal. He's old. Jameis Winston's not so young anymore either, and I don't think many people see him as a long-term starter anymore, given his history of throwing so many interceptions. But it gives them some flexibility. I think they will bring in, as I said, I think they're going to bring in Russell Wilson, and they just did, as well as if the Browns don't sign him first, which they didn't. I don't know what the Browns are doing for a quarterback now. We ought to talk about that sometime. I guess it's Kenny Pickett. If they get both quarterbacks, and they do have both quarterbacks now, an argument can be made for drafting Travis Hunter, as you just said. And if Sanders is available at number 3, they better hope he's not, and they don't take him. The opting for Hunter and Sanders goes on to be the Rookie of the Year. It will be one of the many reasons to say goodbye to Shane and Dable.
I think right now, like I said, I completely agree with Chase Daniel. I think right now there's not much that the Giants could do to save the jobs, and the only way that they would do that is by winning a decent amount of games. That's the only option for them, because right now it's not one of those periods where you'd be like, well, we'll give them a little bit of wiggle room. They've been there for now, what? This would be their 3rd or 4th year. I believe it's 4th year. And then Dable already won Coach of the Year after the 2022 season, where they actually had a really good season. Saquon Barkley had a great year. Daniel Jones had an efficient year. But they weren't in a situation where they were dominating in the NFC. They were a wildcard team. They beat the Minnesota Vikings when the Vikings were 11-0 in one-score games. And you could argue that they were just big frauds. And I think right now, I'm going to read this report because some people may think, I'm talking out of my rear when it comes to this. But according to Connor Orr of Sports Illustrated, the current thought is that the Giants will add more veteran competition, as we just saw. They just signed Russell Wilson. It would seem like common sense to assume that Ward would go to the Titans, and the Browns will likely select skilled pass rusher who will ease the burden of Myles Garrett. So they're obviously talking about Abdul Carter. Now, supposedly, this is a rumor, it's possible that that the Giants are one of the 2 quarterback-needy teams that reportedly interviewed Sanders at the scouting combine and weren't overly impressed by him. So this is suiting up for a situation where the Giants do pass on Shedeur if he is available, and they go the route of selecting Travis Hunter, who you could argue him and Abdul Carter are the 2 top. If you're just listing who are on your big board, your draft board, who are just the best overall players, you could argue that it could be Travis Hunter 1, Abdul Carter 2, Abdul Carter 1, Travis Hunter 2, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I do think right now that the Giants, their best move is because Russ is good enough. He's not a great quarterback. He's not a difference-making quarterback. He's good enough. And I think with Dable running the show, it could be interesting to watch. But overall, I do not think that this move, no matter what it is, will save Dable's job at the end of the season. It may just prolong the pain, where by week 5, if they're 0-5 or 1-4, they don't fire him. Maybe they're 2-3. Maybe they're 3-7.
I don't know. I don't think so. Look at their schedule. It's terrible. That schedule is one of the hardest in the NFL. And they're in one of the toughest divisions.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.